There are two equal and opposite errors into which our race can fall about the devils. One is to disbelieve in their existence. The other is to believe and to feel an excessive and unhealthy interest in them. C.S. Lewis.
Welcome to Remnants. Well, that was good.
Yeah. I don't think we've ever tag teamed it before.
I don't think so. It just came kind of naturally, but also we were both looking at each other like, who's going to say it first?
So then we got to both say it. It might sound really creepy, honestly.
Well, that's fitting because this is part 2 of our episode on demons and possessions and shit.
Yes.
And
all the things.
Yes, how to get rid of them as well.
Oh, by the way, I'm Kayla.
Oh, and I'm Emily.
We are your hosts.
Yes.
I think Emily has maybe been exorcised now.
I think so. I think I coughed up the demon that the holy essential oils purged my lungs of. It was kind of scary. Not scary, but you know, it's good to get an exorcism on a Tuesday night.
Yeah. You know, kind of in all this research we've been doing, I feel like it's kind of like reconnected me in my faith a little bit, which I think is cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
Great.
I don't know. Yeah.
Happy for you.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Well, there's time. Yeah, I don't know. I've been listening to a lot of just Catholic podcasts or just podcasts on like demons and exorcisms, and I'm like, you know, yeah.
Well,
makes me feel a little more connected.
That's
like
kind of
reestablishing connection. I mean,
that makes it even more frightening than that one time we went on the investigation. Your saint's bracelet?
Yeah, broke? I have a bracelet like with just different kinds of saints on it, and I wore it to one of our paranormal investigations. It was within the first hour there. It broke. Mm-hmm. Now I do think that one it's an old bracelet, and I think the elastic was kind of worn out.
No.
But or something else was going on.
Mm-hmm. Definitely something else. You were under attack.
I still had my crucifix necklace on, though. They didn't break that.
Next time.
Thank you. Well, we didn't stay at the other location long enough for them to break my necklace.
That's true. If we had, whew,
yeah.
Boy, would that have been broken.
Yeah. I probably should be wearing some kind of protection jewelry now.
I probably should too, but I'm holding on to a little planchet.
I'm just like nervously stretching my hair tie.
This is not what I should have been holding on to for this episode.
Well, as long as you're not using it.
I'm using it.
Uh-oh. But there's no board for it to write out on.
Just put it on our massive page of notes. Who's here? Kidding. Kidding. So, anything new happening with you? That rhymed.
Anything new
happening with you?
No.
No? It's almost like we're recording this on the same day.
What? No. Well, I feel like I'm transitioning to a new job at work, and so I'm kind of doing 2 jobs at once right now, and it's kind of a lot.
Is it like, do you like it?
I do. I like it so much better. So now I get really irritated when like tasks with my current job come up. I'm like, no, I don't want to do it anymore.
I don't blame you. Is it like confirmed that you're actually switching though?
I think it's pretty... I think it's going to happen, but it's not official yet. I mean, hopefully by the time this episode comes out, it'll be official.
Better be.
I have a meeting in a couple weeks. We're supposed to like discuss.
Well... Wait till she finds out.
That's how I'm like the demon. I lure them in
like,
under false... manipulate them.
God sent me straight to hell.
I create a false sense of security. Then when they let their guard down, the real Kayla comes through.
Yep.
Well, that's how I lured Emily in.
It is. I was like, God, Kayla's just so nice. And I'm like, she just tells me no all the time. She's possessed. She kills me with oil.
Yeah, like how much longer are you gonna listen and not ignore all these signs that the universe is trying to tell you?
Well, lucky for you, I ignore signs and red flags. So I'll be here forever and ever and ever, unless I choke on
Unless I take it too far.
Frankincense. Yeah, unless you take it too far and I end up possessed and speaking Yiddish in a basement. I don't know.
That'd be cool.
Would it?
No.
You're like, that's how I finally get my fame.
Yes.
I possess my friend.
Well, that's not how I want fame.
I heard something.
I did too. I'm sure it was your neighbor, but it sounded
It was
weird.
the ghost going.
Yeah, it sounded weird. Well, we did ask in our last episode. We asked.
Oh, that's true.
We asked our buddy to say hey.
All right, great. You got something to say? We'll give you some space. Here's the mic.
That is Emily's chair.
Grady just farts into the microphone.
You know what?
Oh, it could be Tim. Sorry.
As long as it doesn't smell, it's fine. Ooh, it smells like sulfur.
Oh, shit.
You gotta get out.
It's hard to say. Is it a fart or is it a demon?
That's true. Is it just rotten eggs?
Need you to be more clear. Let me know if you're a demon or just a flatulent spirit.
Right?
All right. So if that's all the
I don't know. Do
chitter-
you have anything new?
Me? I can breathe again.
Yay!
That's a good plus.
Still have really loud cicadas.
Extremely loud.
I'm sure that's coming through a little bit.
Oh, those are people outside. Oh, I heard voices and I'm like,
how dare there be voices at the
Yeah.
normal hour?
yeah, nothing really new for me. Got a new video game coming out on Thursday that I'm really excited for, so I hope I can play it, but that's up to the gods.
Yes.
The tiny baby gods.
The three-nager.
Yeah, the three nature. It's not up to me. But that's about it.
Well,
that's about it for me.
Exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My monitor keeps turning off and on its own. So
I know, that's kind of interesting.
it does it. It's like got a bad connection, but I just keep seeing blinking out of the corner of my eye, and I'm just like, ooh.
Ooh, in other news, I feel like we got a couple more investigations we're maybe close to nailing down.
Yeah. Do we want to share where they are, or are we going to keep them a secret?
Well, we haven't even revealed the two that we've done yet.
That's
maybe
true.
we'll
So we
keep
just
them a
won't
secret.
tell you
In case they do. Because you know what happened is we said we were going to, in our last episode for season 1,
We did.
the finale, we said we were going to the Toots Mansion. And then that got canceled. So anyways, we're not going to say it in case
It's true.
they
That's
fall
our
through.
new. We don't like how you can't mention what is it? You can't bring up Macbeth in a theater. We
Right.
can't say where we're going on an investigation until it's happened.
Yes.
So yeah, nothing new then. I guess
Yeah.
all things considered. So I guess we should just get back to the
Get
demons.
back into it.
So we are going to start things off with the story of the possession of Roland Doe.
Ooh, big one.
Big one. So, possession stories and demons are huge in the realm of the paranormal and horror, and it's arguably one of the most frightening flavors of supernatural, a phenomena that almost turns your body into the haunted house.
I like it. Well, I mean, not really, but I like that phrase. I don't like that.
Kayla, I like it.
I don't like that.
Possess me. I want my body to be a haunted house.
It can be in Zach's museum.
You just wander around and Zach's like, there's my demon girl. She's in the basement every day, but I let her out at Wednesdays at 5.
Get some fresh air. Fresh Vegas air.
It's like just takes you for walks.
It takes me
It's
for
like a dream come true for you.
yeah. Well,
A former dream.
Former dream.
Imagine young stalker Kayla
young 20-year-old Kayla. It was her dream.
be owned by Zach Bagans.
No, that sounds so weird. This is getting weirder. I just need to stop talking. This is Emily's story. I'm sorry.
Emily's having a great time. So, one of the biggest cases of possession is one that doesn't seem to be talked about quite as much. Again, it is, but like it's not the big one. Like when you hear big ones, it's like Annalise Michelle.
I guess that's true. Maybe it's just big to me because it does take. I'm getting into your story, but it takes place somewhere nearby.
Yeah,
So-
but like,
So it's big to me.
yeah, it's just, and I guess it is
It's the basis.
big, and maybe I just hadn't heard of it as much, but maybe that was a false statement. But either way, the story is the basis of The Exorcist, and it involved a boy whose name we actually do know now. I'll bring that up here in a second. Roland Doe was kind of just what he was given because he was a child when this happened and the story came out. But anyways, this possession story started in Cottage City, Maryland in 1948, and it ended in St. Louis, Missouri in 1949.
A hop, skip, and a what step? What's that phrase?
A hop, skip, and a jump.
Oh, yeah.
A hop, skip, and a footstep.
I like went backwards.
A hop, skip, and a... Oh!
Just a little
Went a little too far there.
Anyways, just down the road.
Wow. So it wasn't until his death in 2020,
Well, that's pretty recent.
yeah, that the true identity of this supposed victim of possession was revealed. Ronald Edwin Hunkler was 8 or 9 when the activity began. Some believe he first encountered the demon after playing with a Ouija board. He was introduced to the Ouija board by his Aunt Harriet, and when she passed, he tried to use it to communicate with her.
Oh.
Yeah. Bad move,
Well,
man.
and kind of in our episode on the Ouija board, they had a resurgence in the 40s after World War II. So this time,
True.
kind of, you know.
Yeah. So that was a common thing to do, and he just was unlucky, I guess. And it happened to be a kid, and demons like kids because they're easy to
Yep.
gobble up.
They're open. They're open books
Yeah.
because they haven't been beaten down by life.
Yeah. I was.
Oh.
You were already possessed. So.
Yeah. So you know what? We're a pair.
So shortly after his aunt's death, the family began to experience paranormal activity. Objects moved on their own, and strange noises plagued the family. The sound of dripping water could be heard throughout the home with no visible source. And while the family at one point was looking for the source of this dripping water, they found that a picture of Jesus that they had hanging on their wall was kind of just like swaying, like Jesus was like, whoa, on the wall.
Just dancing.
Dancing, which probably isn't a good thing.
Nope.
So scratching was heard. It was kind of like coming from within the walls, so they thought maybe they had pests.
Mm-hmm.
And when they had pest control come out, they could see no visible source of what was causing that scratching, clawing noise.
Good.
So, that's fun. Multiple members of the family claimed to have felt claws raking underneath Ronald's mattress. It's like, why is his name so similar to the Roland? It's gonna be hard.
Yeah. I mean, I guess he is both names, so if you interchange them.
Yeah, so that boy, Ronald McDonald, they felt claws like scraping underneath his mattress.
Oh, go.
And they even saw the bed start to shake on its own. And the occurrences fonneled.
Oh no, the demon still got her.
It combined followed and Ronald. The occurrences followed Ronald outside of the home and even to school. I think kids at school witnessed things happening to him.
School's hard enough, man.
Yeah, and then you're possessed. I mean, come on. So the family went to actually, going back to, I guess, last episode, would that be possession at this point, or is this infestation?
Nothing. Maybe infestation. Well, although it's following him, but I guess it could be attached to him. It's probably infestation because nothing specifically is happening to him yet. It's all
still
external.
Ghost activity.
Yeah,
almost.
this is still external stuff. It's not internal yet.
Mm-hmm.
So this is probably infestation stage.
Yeah. Obviously, it's targeting him, but...
Mm-hmm.
So, with all this happening, the family went to a Lutheran pastor, Luther Miles Schultz, for help, and he recommended that Ronald undergo an exorcism. He underwent several exorcisms, and during one performed by Roman Catholic priest Edward Hughes, it's alleged that Ronald escaped his restraints and reached into his mattress, breaking loose a piece of box spring that he later used to slash the priest across the arm, ending the ritual. Which obviously we progress very quickly from stuff just happening around to him being possessed.
Mm-hmm.
And many of those first exorcisms were not successful whatsoever. And that's kind of what led them to their next act. So stories say that the demons somehow mentioned St. Louis during one of the exorcisms, or they mentioned Louis or something to that nature, and that's where they were like, oh, we need to move to St. Louis. We have family there. Maybe that's where we need to go to make things all better. So they relocated to St. Louis, and that's where they met a few other priests who began to assist with Ronald's exorcisms because they continued there because this kid had a ton of exorcisms. So the final ritual took place in the Alexian Brothers Hospital, which is now known as South City Hospital.
I've seen that building.
You've seen it?
Yeah.
I was going to ask,
just
but I
looks
want
like
to
a
see
building.
if it... Like, can we investigate in South City Hospital?
I mean...
Do we have to be admitted?
The problem is it's a...
Hospital?
It's an
actual hospital. Okay, so what's we do? We get into nursing, and then we go to investigate South City Hospital, and then once we're done, we quit.
Yes, they're like it. And then we'll go down the street and convince the guy that now owns the Exorcist house to sell it to us.
Yes.
Because we can't investigate that either because it's privately owned.
I thought it was actually torn down. I didn't realize it's still standing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I wonder if the one in Maryland is too.
That one I don't know. But yeah, the home where obviously they stayed with family in St. Louis, that home still exists.
I don't know if I actually want to go there, though, to be honest.
Yeah. There's, if you're interested, I'm sure there could be other podcast episodes about it, but Astonishing Legends, that podcast, they interviewed a radio DJ in St. Louis who investigated, I guess every Halloween he does like a paranormal investigation. In 1 year, they did that home.
Oh.
And they talk about that in one of their episodes. They interview this guy, and he has like some audio from their investigation. It's pretty crazy.
Absolutely. I didn't know that. I'll have to listen to that.
Yeah.
That sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not like doing a deep dive on this story by any means. True. And there are a lot of podcasts on this. So if you want to learn more, just look it up. I know I said it wasn't like talked about a lot, but I think it just doesn't seem like a big hitter case in my mind because it just seems overshadowed by other cases. But there are a lot of episodes and stuff
articles
about it.
And stuff. Probably books too.
Oh yeah, there are plenty of there are books for sure.
But I interrupted your story.
No, it's fine. I was curious about that, so I'm glad you interjected. So 3 priests were involved in the ritual, with one reporting that the scene was hellish and that marks and wounds mysteriously appeared over the boy's body throughout. It is said that during the Litany of Saints, Ronald's mattress began to shake, and that sometime during the rite, the boy broke the nose of a priest. The exorcism did prove to be successful, though, and Ronald led an ordinary life all the way to the age of 86. So, was the exorcism successful, or was there even truly a need for one in the first place?
Yeah.
I
mean, that's going to always probably be a question.
Yeah, there are a lot of people who believe that some of the priests involved in this exaggerated what was happening or made some of it up, or that he was never possessed in the first place. He was schizophrenic. Like, it's kind of... But this case, they never really looked into it further. And after the final exorcism, as far as anybody could tell, he
was normal.
So, that alone would point to that possibly having been the case in his situation.
True possession.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's kind of the very summarized version of that story.
Mm-hmm.
I do feel like compared to stories like Annalise Michel or Mikel, I think it's Mikel.
Probably Mikel, German.
There isn't as much to find easily on it as far as things that were said, because I know with her
there's actual recordings.
There's recordings, but also that one is more believed to not have been in possession in the first place.
Yeah.
But this one's a little less, I guess, sensationalized.
There's journals of the priest, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. Like, there's journals. There's a book that came out once he passed, and they were able to kind of give out more in his life.
Mm-hmm.
I did not go into reading those, but if we ever do a full episode on him, that would be a good thing to do.
Right.
But for now, you get the very brief abridged version of Ronald McDonald, the St. Louis demon boy.
Yep. And I think with that, I will then maybe go into a little bit more about exorcisms and what that is, at least in the Catholic lens, a Catholic exorcism. It is a rite in the Catholic Church, a ritual, and every ritual done in the Catholic Church is a communal act and interlinks us throughout time with each other, which I thought that was cool. A priest was talking about that.
So dramatic sounding.
I know, right?
But
there's 7 rites, I think, in the Catholic Church, and, exorcism is one of them.
Okay.
Don't call me on that, but anyway, there's
a
specific number of rites. My Catholic education was a while ago.
Well, I believed you. You have the benefit of my ignorance.
I also find this fascinating. I'd never heard this before. But a priest on a podcast I was listening to, he talked about that because of like my Catholic baptism, so any Catholics that have been baptized, that we have the power of Jesus Christ in us to cleanse, bless, and exercise our own homes with holy water and prayer. And, when that doesn't work, then you can call a priest. But
I think you cleansed and blessed and exercised my room.
Out of you, yeah.
And my lungs. So he must have been right.
Yeah.
Because you did a blessing over those, and boy, they worked.
And now you're great.
I'm cured.
Yeah.
Of whatever I had.
So, but this kind of just goes with any religion. I think it's about your intention and, just inviting in good and light and being strong in your faith, whatever that faith is. But if we're going to focus on Catholicism, there's no greater power than Jesus. And Jesus performed some exorcisms, in the Gospels. So, he shows that he had authority to drive out evil, and he even exorcised people possessed by the devil. And how do you say that name? Beelzebub?
Beelzebub?
Yeah. Did you see I intentionally kept it lowercase? I did not want to give it power.
I wondered, because I saw you kept Satan lowercase at one point, but then you capitalized him another point.
Yeah, so some of that might have been just laziness, but I intentionally didn't capitalize the B. Not gonna give it power.
But he's got a cool name.
He does. I know, it is kind of... Why do they have fun names to say? Like, lots of Z's.
Because Z's are cool.
I know, I like Z's.
Z's are evil. Z.
So the formal rite of exorcism, it formed over several centuries. The prayers developed differently in different parts of the world, but in 1614, the Catholic Church decided to standardize exorcism, and they kind of just took the best of all the rites, and they made a single exorcism rite that we have used since then. It was revised in 1999 as part of the Second Vatican Council reforms. Every Catholic diocese has an exorcist. So the Catholic Church is kind of divided up like counties almost. Like there's areas, and every diocese has an exorcist. One has to be asked to be an exorcist. And a lot of times if there's not an exorcist in the diocese, then it falls to the bishop's role. So the bishop kind of leads each diocese of priests.
That's interesting.
And the Kansas City St. Joseph Diocese has an exorcist, but his name is not public, which I guess kind of makes sense. But I'm like, who are you? There's not that many churches.
That makes me wonder, like, how many exorcisms might have happened in this area?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I don't know.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go interrogate every Catholic priest we can find. Are you the exorcist?
Are you the exorcist? Tell me.
Where are the demons?
When the Catholic Church gets a call about an exorcism, they don't go in guns blazing. Boring, yeah. They might first send like the parish priest or even a psychologist to just kind of assess the home situation first. Mm-hmm. And before an exorcism, a person, which I'm glad this is a thing, but a person will undergo extensive psychological assessment to make sure it's not a mental illness or another treatable, sickness, or even just a mundane explanation. Mm-hmm. Demonic change, or what appears as demonic changes in a person's behavior, it can come from like maybe the elderly or having behavior changes from dementia or aging. Like it might not be it might not be a demon.
What?
And also it's like, it's not just going to happen if like your teenager's dressed in goth and is moody. They're possessed.
Are you saying D&D doesn't summon the demons?
I am saying that.
What?
You kind of touched on this in our last episode, like, don't go doing rituals or black magic or whatever you want to call it, and inviting that in.
Yeah, because that's different. That's asking for something versus just, I've got a bunch of Halloween decorations up basically all the time.
Yeah,
including a Ouija board. But I haven't asked.
You're just curious. You're not obsessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was about to say I haven't asked anything to like talk to me, but I have asked things to talk to me. So it's kind of like,
well,
arguably, are we opening doors by investigating?
Probably yes.
Yeah. So
we got to get better about closing.
Yeah, instead of just running away in terror.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, story for another day. So when interviewing a potential possessed, an exorcist, they might do like discreet tests, like kind of like walking behind them and like dropping holy water on them and seeing if there's a reaction. But also like you might react too, like when I like have a drop of rain on me, like I'll react, you know?
You just...
Or am I just possessed?
Like, was that a normal reaction or was that like a demon reaction? I don't know. I'm gonna put more water on.
So yeah, they'll kind of like do these tests to kind of like, you know, see if there's reactions. You know, and an exorcist themselves goes through a lot of psychological research and study to assess a person, the situation, and you know, an exorcist also has to be a really holy person because when they're performing an exorcist, you know, the demon will attack them personally. So, you know, an exorcist can't be someone who's got a lot of shady past because the demon's going to attack that. And if they're not strong enough to not, you know, go into that, they got to stay.
You can't fight demons if you got demons.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
So some signs of when a person is truly possessed is when they know other languages that they should have no knowledge of. They might know secret things about people that they possibly couldn't know. Detecting the holy, like saying if there's a saint relic in your pocket, and superhuman strength. But we do know from psychiatric settings that sometimes people can be extremely strong sometimes, so that's not always an indication.
Yeah, because like some of it, like normal strength is just mental barriers preventing us from hurting ourselves. We're actually a lot stronger than we are because we could hurt ourselves by using our full capability. Like I had a dentist tell me once, like our bite strength can literally like bite through, like we can break our own teeth, we can bite through things, but we just usually control ourselves. And that's why sometimes when people are sleeping, they can do a lot of damage to their teeth because if you clench without being aware of how hard you're clenching, you actually have a lot more power than you know. It's just you have some mental barriers to protect yourself, but if those are gone...
Yeah, then... So I kind of feel like basically like one of these signs, like you kind of need multiple signs to show you're possessed, and not like, oh, well, they just lifted a car, there must be possessed.
They just lifted a car. Maybe go for something smaller. They just lifted a car.
You know those like stories of like the moms that will like lift a car?
Yeah, I don't think she's like lifting it over her head though.
Well, I guess I didn't mean like throwing it. I don't even think there's any possession stories that amount of strength.
I don't even think a demon can do that. We're usually talking about like throwing a book or something. Throwing a priest, not a car. Damn. Your demon's the Hulk.
That sounds useful.
Well, don't make DD excited. He'll come out.
And I had talked to like a priest once about kind of exorcisms, and he said he kind of had this like, he had said, you know, also if medicine works on a allegedly possessed person, then it's probably a mental illness. You know, if it is someone who's schizophrenic and they get on medication and then the symptoms stop, okay, well then they're probably not possessed. But on the other side of that, he kind of thought a lot of people in mental hospitals could be possessed and could be helped, but you know, they're not being helped.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, because there are, like, several illnesses that are both mental and physical that can manifest in a way that look like possession. We talked a little bit earlier about the case of Annalise Michel. She's the inspiration of the movie The Possession of Emily Rose. And that case is very much believed to have been a mental illness completely now. She endured 67 exorcism rites in the year before she died. And she was, at that time, diagnosed with epileptic psychosis. Epileptic psychosis.
It's a mouthful.
Yeah, I was just like, I thought I said it right. And then I was like, did I? The word became a sound. They did have that diagnosis, but I think the family was so convinced that it was like demonic infestation, possession, that I think they treated it for a while, but I think they ended up disregarding the actual medical treatment, which is why her parents and the priests involved were charged with negligent homicide in regards to her death. Yep. And I believe this case is also partly why they had to add so many revisions to exorcism rites and all that to kind of protect people from that in the future.
Yep.
But there are a lot of things that look like possession. Like I couldn't remember the name, but I've heard that there's like a certain tumor that can cause symptoms that mirror possession. I couldn't find what it was, but obviously there are mental disorders that can bring it up. And there's something in the DSM-5 called the dissociative trance disorder that is also known as a possession disorder. And I think this literally comes down to differing opinions, whether it's a science-based or faith-based approach to this occurrence. But the disorder manifests as disruption of identity and altered consciousness to the surroundings that may be perceived as an experience of being controlled by an external supernatural power. So, again, I think whether you think it's something mental or something spiritual kind of goes down to what you believe in, but it's curious to wonder, like, if it can't be fixed medically, is it something else?
Right. But
it's hard to say.
It's hard to say because also it could be, if you truly believe, can an exorcism fix you even if you're not actually possessed because you believe it's helping you kind of thing too.
It's almost like a placebo effect kind of. I think there is something to it because, I mean, again, possession or exorcism doesn't exist just in Catholicism. Like that it's something that there are different rites for in almost every culture. And it has to work. Otherwise, people wouldn't keep doing it still.
Right. So,
So it could actually be getting rid of spirits. It could be that it just helps the person think that something's helped them. Or maybe a combination of both. I don't know.
Yeah. Huh.
But, that was my little interjection.
Well, whatever the cause may be, the Vatican gets over 500,000 requests for possession-related cases a year. That is a lot. 500,000.
It's alarming.
Yeah. And true possessions are rare, but, according to the church, it's a growing issue, and the need for exorcists in the church to confront evil, it's growing.
I wonder why that would be.
Well, they have a theory for that. So kind of in today's, science, we're just more science-based culture, and we're kind of, we view Satan as a more abstract thing, not like literally Lucifer. And Satan just kind of means all temptation and sin. And that works great for the devil because he wants humans to lower our guard and not think that demons are on this earth. And so modern exorcists struggle because demons are not as widely believed, and thus it is easier for the demons to infiltrate our homes and possess because our faith in God is not as strong as it used to be. And more people are leaving Christianity, and the demons have freer reign to, play their cons on people. So.
But, like, I always wonder then, if you don't believe in it, like, I don't know. I feel like if you don't believe in it, sometimes
then it can't affect. Anyways, where am I?
Back to your story. We turned the page and I was like, there. We've got 2 solid chunks of pages of Kayla.
Oh yeah. So, the Vatican's getting 500 cases a year, and so that kind of breaks down to there's roughly 1 to 4 possession cases going on in a major city at any time. And most exorcists, they're doing them monthly, weekly, and possibly even more often. And when they're performing exorcisms on a person, they're usually doing weekly sessions for that person.
Literally, it's like going to a therapist.
Yeah.
I was going to say, too, though, like, depression is also on the rise. So, like, it's a cyclical, like, is it the depression or is it a demon?
Or the egg?
Like, what came first, the demon or the depression? But, like, is it treating the same thing different ways, though, again?
I mean, right. I don't know if we'll ever know, really. I don't know.
Maybe someday. Maybe when your demon will tell us someday.
Maybe.
Can we record your exorcism?
Sure.
Great.
Yeah, I don't know. I want some actual video evidence of some exorcisms out there. Come on, people. And especially, like, most cases, they will take 6 months to 2 years of weekly sessions before an exorcism is complete. Although there are a few instances where it might just be over immediately. The success it mainly depends on the possessed person's willingness to, trust God and and relate more closely with God during the exorcism. It just kind of depends on the person and the situation. A lot of exorcists believe that most possessions have been going on for 10 years or even a lifetime in a person. Kind of like, dormant demon, that they can be causing a person to be sick for a very long time. And so that's another reason for the multiple sessions, because an exorcist doesn't want to rip out all the demons at once if they've been in there for a long time, because that can leave the person like not knowing who they are, and it's just too much of a shock to their psyche, and they usually relapse.
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if my personality was demon.
So if they took that away, you'd be like, who am I?
Why am I just nice and happy now?
Oh, wait.
That was the demon.
That was the demon.
I probably got it from eating Trix so much as a kid. We didn't bless my Trix cereal.
I feel like in a lot of my research, like, the chief exorcist of the Vatican, he kept coming up, and he could probably be his own episode.
Probably should be.
So I'm just going to kind of touch on him, but Gabriel Amort. He was an Italian Catholic priest, and as I said, the Vatican's chief exorcist. There's all these X's and Z's and
I've tripped over my words a lot in this. This is a lot of words in this episode.
He was born on May 1st, 1925, and died on September 16th, 2016. Amort, along with 5 other priests, founded the International Association of Exorcists.
I want to go to that convention.
Right? It's probably men only.
Yeah.
That's Vatican related. His work in demonology and exorcism gained him international recognition, and he saw 300 cases per year and 70,000 over his decades-long career to become one of the most prominent but also controversial figures in the Catholic Church. Father Amorth believed 90% of cases were caused by satanic rituals, curses, or spells, and he kind of had 3 key requirements to avoid possession, which were strong faith, purity through prayer, and fasting.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, I could not do fasting. I'm sorry. I'm going to get possessed.
I'm missing all 3 points.
And I also thought this was really interesting. And so Father Amorth, he believed that Pope Benedict XVI was the most powerful exorcist he had ever seen. So Pope Benedict XVI, he was the one before. Pope Francis is our current pope. Pope Benedict was the one before Francis.
Okay.
He's a little scary looking if you Google him, but he's supposed to be actually just like a very kind man, and apparently the devil's really afraid of him.
Let's see what this guy looks like.
Yeah, he's a little scary looking, which is not fair.
No wonder the devil's scared of him.
Yeah.
You see that coming at you, and you're like, oh no!
Yeah. But a story of one of his exorcisms. So in 2009, 2 men, Giovanni and Marco, obviously takes place in Italy.
Giovanni.
And Marco, were brought to Pope Benedict, and as they approached, they began chattering, and he said a blessing over them, and they were thrown back 10 feet and were immediately no longer possessed.
Jesus.
So, like, that's how strong he allegedly was. That he could just, like, just say one simple blessing.
Just like, hi.
The demons were like, goodbye. We're not messing with this guy.
God, imagine that. You don't know you're possessed, and you say hi to the Pope, and you just get thrown through a wall.
Yeah. Just like, what a day.
How was your day? Man, I got a surprise exorcism when I met the Pope today.
And I was thrown.
He shook my hand, and it fell off.
So we kind of just, I think I touched on this earlier, not a lot is really revealed about exorcisms and what goes on during them, but, here is what the Catholic Church has revealed and what we know about exorcisms. So it'll start with kind of prayers. The prayers are starting it off. And this will bring out the manifestation. And this might be that the person's eyes roll back. That's common. Closed demons, they will hide as long as possible. Open demons, kind of as soon as the exorcism starts, they will immediately appear and start mocking the priest. Demons are kind of always watching our world, so they know our weaknesses. So that's why the exorcist has to be a very strong and kind of holy, good person.
I didn't know they were closed and open demons.
Yes, so that book, Slaying Dragons, is that what it's called? Slaying now I can't remember.
They're slaying something.
Slaying something that I talked about.
It's dragons.
Slaying dragons.
Yeah.
Yeah. he talked about that, like closed demons and open demons, which is, I guess maybe, I don't know if he put those terms on them, but it's interesting. Another thing, the person might have like a complete flip of the personality or a change in their facial features. They will say things they shouldn't know. Maybe the things that the priest has done that no one knows except the priest. They might do superhuman strength.
Do superhuman strength. They might do it.
Flip that car.
You're not a demon unless you can flip a car.
But no 360 head turning.
What?
That is Hollywood.
Unacceptable. Actually, yeah, please no.
Speaking in a language the person doesn't know, aversion to holy objects. So like all of these are just kind of like signs that will happen during an exorcism. And it takes several months of mini sessions. So the priest and deacons will also help too. They'll do like 30-minute shifts. And a deacon told me a story somewhat recently where he witnessed an exorcism, and it was a session with 3 people who didn't know each other. And one started imitating a dog, and then another one started imitating a monkey, and the third person, I can't remember what animal, but was another animal, and they then all ran together towards the priest. Which would be very scary.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, you could also argue that maybe that's just some kind of like mass hysteria type moment too, but I don't know.
Or just a really bad prank.
That too.
I want to be the monkey.
So eventually, as the exorcist progresses during the exorcism, the exorcist will gain authority over the demon by learning its name and how it got there. And demons can only stay for so long. They're on a leash by God. God kind of allows them to be here on earth before he will, interfere. And there'll be a critical point during an exorcism where the demon loses his hold while the exorcist is constantly demanding the demon to leave. By this point, the lesser demons have kind of been washed away, and it's just leaving the most powerful ones. So the priest knows exactly who they're dealing with at this point. And when they know that an exorcism has been successful, there'll just be this like immediate sense of peace in the atmosphere and on the person. That just is a sign that the demon has departed.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
So can you be an exorcist now?
No.
What?
I could apparently bless a home and do little minor things, but no, I don't have the schooling.
Should be your new life goal.
Yeah, be like gonna resign, my job. Here's my 2 weeks
now.
Notice. What are you gonna do now? I'm gonna be an exorcist.
Never mind that they have to ask me. I'm gonna be one.
I'm gonna be one.
I'm going to tell them. Hey,
You want me?
I'm an exorcist now.
Yep.
I have insider knowledge of demons because I have one.
in me. He helps me.
His name's Richard.
I feel like we talked about a lot of this in my warding off evil episode in our first season, but I'll just like quickly run through them. So how can I resist being influenced by the demon and the devil? And
Like you're a bad person to
how
ask.
do I battle evil?
Retroactive knowledge for you would have worked out in the past.
So, this is what they should have done.
That's what they should have done.
Holy water. You have dominion over your body and your home to, spritz that holy water and call on the blessing of God.
Just have it in like a little spray
I'm
bottle
so
like
bad.
it's a cat.
I'm so bad. I still haven't gone and gotten any from the church.
That holy
Water.
gun. The holy gun.
You got me the gun.
Use your holy water gun.
I have not filled it with holy water. Ugh.
Whatever.
Blessed salt, which is in holy water, we learned. I did not know that until episode 11 of season 1.
Oh.
Check it out.
Oh.
No,
Oh.
it was episode 12.
I don't remember.
It was episode 12.
Holy salt.
Anyways, holy salt. You can also put that like around the perimeter of your house to keep out evil.
Okay.
This is what I did earlier. Blessed oil, especially frankincense, which makes sense. That's an oil of the Bible. And valor, they diffuse those to rid negative energy, which kind of, they're in the air, so then the demons can't infiltrate,
Yep, and it
Yeah.
gave me a coughing fit.
Yep. And that kind of goes with like blessed candles. That drives demons out of the air, and it's kind of literal light chasing away darkness, which is kind of a cool imagery. Then you can do like your saints medals, which I tried to do. didn't work out so well for me. Saint Benedict is like the big one because it said that his medal protects from curses, evil, and vice, and against diseases, and protects good health. You do the rosary, and just other relics, sacred images, crucifix. Catholic priests also say like confession is really important because that cleanses our sins and, kind of starts fresh. And also praying to Mary. Like apparently demons really fear Mary, which, she's a mom. I get it. You gotta fear moms.
Well, they should be afraid of me then. I don't think they are.
Yeah. We said like, these aren't like magic spells or, you've got to believe they're working to keep them out. So that's, got to have faith.
Yeah.
Whatever your faith is.
So considering I don't approach these topics from the same lens as Kayla, I try to consider what protections would work for someone who does not approach the supernatural with a faith-based understanding of the world. I tend to believe that things are given power, and I discussed this a little bit earlier. I don't remember if it was in this episode or the first one now, because it's just all
runs together.
It's all a big mush of demons in my brain. But your fear can go a long way towards letting entities in. Yep. So it's important that you do not waver in your beliefs, whether they be in God or yourself or a talisman or a spell, yep, or whatever protection you've summoned. I've heard many people that we've encountered in our investigations say that part of their preparation for an investigation is to basically meditate and then picture themselves surrounded in like a white light or something that's almost like a barrier. And you just have to, might not even be a real thing, but it's just the fact that you believe it's there.
So strongly that.
So like your mental fortitude is honestly your biggest friend when it comes to being around malicious entities or just any entities that you don't want to go be in your space or in your body.
Yeah.
Anything. Many believe that bringing a talisman that is important to you is another form of protection, and this item doesn't have to be religious or magical. It just has to be grounding, something that's important to you, that you have some sense of security when you hold.
I like that.
Yeah, it can be anything.
That even goes with Catholic or Christian faith. I mean, it's just about
like a lot of people I've heard like it's some sort of like family item or something that just makes you feel like it has power only to you. Like anybody else has it, doesn't matter.
That's all you need, though.
I think they did like something like that in Inception. Like they have their token. So it's like that.
Exactly.
All in all, I think it's safe to assume that your power against malicious spirits comes down to your own mental fortitude, and that is something that I think we've picked up after some further investigating experience. We've kind of learned that we need to listen to our own intuition. And like if your intuition is telling you to stay away from a place for a certain reason, it's better to listen to that, because once you're at that point and you don't want to go in somewhere, or you don't want to be somewhere,
you're already in a bad state.
You're in a bad state, and you need to not be doing these things when you're consumed by your own fear, because that's when you can get into trouble. So that is my advice as a baby ghost hunter.
I think that's a very good advice that we are starting to.
Yeah, because whether or not you're sensitive or anything, your uncontrolled fear is the last thing you want to bring with you to a haunted location, especially if there's a demon there, because that's their favorite thing.
Yep.
So, religious or not, I think everybody can just follow that rule. So, that was my addition, my personal experience with these sorts of feelings, like the, ew, no, icky, don't go there.
Yep.
The one place I felt that the strongest is the Sallie House.
Yep.
And I think a good way to end the series is to kind of bring up that we did go back to the Sallie House.
Are you finally feel like you're at a strong enough place to talk about it?
Strong enough, ready enough.
It's been almost a year.
I know, and we did get some potential evidence there. What I got from that house is a very strong indication that I shouldn't go back. Nothing bad happened, but it's just another one of those feelings like...
Just trust your gut.
Yeah, I've told Kayla a few times that, especially after the second time we went there, I kind of felt like we were being allowed to leave. like without incident. And I've always, each time we've gone, I've had a feeling like something came back with me each time.
Yeah.
Like nothing weird happened necessarily. It's just like a sense that
some presence.
Something. Yeah. And it's just one of those things where like we were in Atchison. We did not approach Sallie House. We drove by. That's probably as close as I'm going to get again because it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just
it's an unsettling home when as soon as you walk in.
Yeah, but we did go back and we did more of an investigation.
The second time we went back, which was in September of 2022.
God, that was a year ago almost.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Isn't it?
But did we go over all of the footage for that, or was I too freaked out?
I did.
You did. I didn't want to look at it.
No. And another reason we haven't talked about this is because Emily and I have a different opinion about something that happened.
Yeah.
But the first one we don't have a different opinion on is, I mean, this is when we were trying to start filming ourselves more. This was probably one of the first instances. And so we were filming us walking into the Sallie House.
Mm-hmm.
And my iPhone was recording, and it did something I have never, ever seen my iPhone do. I mean, in all the videos I've taken of family and friends and vacations, it literally glitched. Like, it went black and, like, jumped forward.
It didn't even go black.
Well, that's true. It just, like, skipped.
It's like somebody cut footage out, and it jumped forward.
Yes.
Like, it wasn't a normal glitch. It was literally like stopped. Jumped.
And it was literally as we're walking through the front door. That's when this happens. It's not like it's in and out of focus. You're right. It's literally like someone cut.
Yeah.
And it then...
Because you could tell it progressed forward. It was literally as we were walking through the door. And we use our iPhones for most of our recording. It's never happened again. Not anywhere else. Ever.
That's why it's like, I can't say it's not just some weird technology thing. But... I've literally never seen my iPhone do that before.
Yeah. Now that one, I agree, it was very weird.
And I just don't know if like digital stuff really does that. I don't know.
What would cause it? There's just some freak occurrence, but also, I mean,
why wouldn't it do it? Any other video I've taken?
Paranormal entities manipulate.
Yeah. It's just highly coincidental that if my phone was ever going to do it, it literally does it as I'm crossing the threshold of the Sallie House.
Right.
Like. So we'll post that on Instagram.
Yeah.
Because that one is a video, so there's no point in us playing it right now.
Yeah. And then we did a fairly long EVP session in the nursery that included me offering up a Mr. Potato Head.
Yes, you brought the toy.
I did. So if you find a Mr. Potato Head Sallie House, if it's still there, Remnants brought that bitch.
Yeah, we should have we didn't have our stickers then. We should have labeled it.
I know. Next time we leave a toy in a demon-infested home, we'll make sure to leave our calling cards so it can find us more easily.
Yay.
A sticker's what it needs. Well, we didn't get anything during that.
No.
But we left...
the cameras on.
We left a camera in there.
There was 2 cameras in there. My iPhone and then my digital camera.
So we left those, and then we went to kind of explore the rest of the house. One of my friends, Kirsty, was with us. Mm-hmm. So we were all kind of just... I think we were together. Just walking together. And you tell us what you think we caught.
So yeah, we left... the cameras running in the nursery on the second floor of the Sallie House, and we all went downstairs, and you can hear us talking from the living room and laughing. In retrospect, we should have been quiet, but we were early baby ghost hunters at this time, and so you can definitely hear voices, but then to me it's very clear, so it doesn't sound like it's just our voices carrying up from the first floor. There's a very clear what sounds like help to me come through. And also, which makes this weird, is so I heard this on my iPhone, and when I went to watch my digital camera footage, be like, maybe it caught it on both. My digital camera had weirdly shut off about 30 seconds before this voice came through. And it shut off at 37 minutes, which is a very weird time. Like,
yeah,
you'd think, okay, maybe it only had like 30 minutes of capacity or 45 or an hour. Shut off at 37 minutes, which I think is kind of weird. But it also might have just run out of, well, it wasn't dead, But maybe that's when it went into sleep mode is kind of what it seemed to have done. But anyways, I think it's just kind of weird that it was about 30 seconds before the voice came through that my digital camera shut off. So.
And to me, the voice sounds like my friend's voice. And I didn't necessarily feel like she had to be saying help, but Kayla's very firm.
So the we said. Or it's mimicking.
It's mimicking is something I'd maybe say more possibly because I do hear help, but it does sound like in her voice to me. But I'm also in denial about getting anything there because I just don't want to.
Or, I mean, we were talking, so it is plausible that it was a voice that carried it from upstairs, but
yeah.
We'll play the clip for you, and you can kind of hear our mumbling downstairs, and you can just decide for yourself if you think we caught any VP or if it's just us.
But I don't know. With this, I think it's really interesting that overall the Sallie House is the place where I think arguably we can say we've had the least activity.
But we've also spent the least amount of time.
And it's still the place I'm most afraid of.
Yeah. Well, it's the only place we've been that actually is said to have a demon.
Which maybe that's it, and I maybe just don't have any interest in actually dealing with that now that we're getting more serious about it, and now it's not just like, oh, this is fun. Now I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, we're actually getting into, like, paranormal investigating.
I'm like, demons? No.
Stay away from that.
Not my vibe.
Yeah.
Don't like it.
Yeah.
Don't know what I think they are, but don't like it.
Yeah. So, I don't think an overnight at the Sallie House is in our ever future, and
no, unless we take off really, really big time and you people are willing to finance it, then I will suck up all my probably really good intuition and do it and regret it. But that's the only way. If I'm getting paid for it, then... Yep, that's the only way I'm going back. Yeah. I'll say it now. Bet.
Yeah.
I feel pretty safe.
Uh-huh.
Want to prove me wrong?
Yeah.
I don't know if I want you to.
We'll be like those shows like, if this episode gets 50,000 downloads, we'll go stay overnight at the Sallie House.
Usually it seems to backfire on them. So.
It does. Well, I said it kind of jokingly. So.
You did.
But for real, though, I will stay there overnight if this episode gets 50,000 downloads.
I will regret it immensely, but I will, for sure. But I will require... Like,
we'll bring someone else.
Yes.
That's what we've learned about us. I think we tried to stay somewhere. It was a very, very big building.
We didn't know it was that big.
We did not know it was that big. We tried to stay somewhere just the two of us, and it really freaked us out. So
just the two of us. We can't make it through this house because it's fucking scary.
Yeah. So we got to build up to being less afraid of it just being us two. But you know what? Most ghost shows is not just two people, so...
No,
there's at least
and we see now why that's the case.
Yeah, there's at least a camera crew, even if only two people are on screen. So we gave ourselves some grace when we said that out loud, that it's usually not only two people in an entire building.
Yeah. And for me, like, it's 100% more of a safety concern, because when you're in places like that, they're not super secure.
No, because they're these old buildings that... are not updated.
Yeah, so another ghost hunter tip that's more realistic than don't go when you're afraid. Don't go with just two people, especially if you're two girls and you're in a really big, not super secure building by yourselves.
Yeah.
Pro tip.
Pro tip.
Pro tip from an amateur that made a boo-boo.
But we'll be talking about that investigation, because even though we chickened out and left early, some stuff still happened.
Yeah,
and
because we've got juju.
We've got someone following us.
Yeah, that's all. We've just got one ghost. It's not. These places aren't haunted. We're haunted.
Or it's you had said it's like the two old guys from the Muppets.
Yeah, I forgot their names, but the two old guys that always make fun of it. They're just over our shoulders all times. Ha ha ha! Hello. They're like, these idiots. God. Well, That was a doozy.
Yeah.
Damn.
But I'm so glad to have that done because that's been a topic we wanted to talk about for a long time. Because I feel like we keep dancing around talking about demonology and exorcism, and so we've now we really have researched it, and
even with having done all that, I still feel like we could do probably a part 3.
Oh sure.
Like that was our notes.
Yeah.
But I'm sure we could do more.
Well, I mean, there's so many more cases we could talk about, and I mean, we could get into the exorcisms that other religions do. I mean, obviously, I keep talking about Catholic, but that's what I am.
Yeah.
So,
but it does make it more compelling to know that is not just a Catholic thing.
Right.
That's all over the world. The concept of possession and exorcisms of some form exists. So,
which makes you think it really is happening because
There's
multiple
it,
religions and cultures believe it. It's not just one. So,
and it's been mentioned for a very, very long time throughout history.
So, yeah, that's our 2-parter on demons, possessions, and exorcisms. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope you enjoy us being back. We're excited to be back.
We are excited. The next episode's going to be an investigation episode, so...
Yeah. This one had a little bit of that, so yeah, I guess...
That's true.
Let us know what you think of the EVP we caught, what you think it is or isn't.
You have to agree with me, though, and say that it's nothing, because I don't want to...
That's true. Don't make Emily more scared of the Sallie House than she is already.
The house is a demon.
It's a demon.
It's a demon house.
Well, it is called the Demon House.
I don't like it.
And follow us, if you're not already, at Remnants Paranormal. And, we're working on getting our YouTube channel up and running, but, video editing takes 10 times as long as audio editing.
Yeah, we haven't found that groove yet. We're going to get there.
But we're going to get there. That whole working full time and, raising kids and having a personal life and
having a ghost named Grady hanging out at your house.
But
we'll
it's still working on it. We're still going to do it because,
We'll get it done, and then, if you guys like it, we'll start getting faster. That's
true. I mean, go ahead and start subscribing to our YouTube channel. We do put our podcast episodes up there, for giggles. But if we start getting more subscribers, then we'll definitely feel the pressure to get those videos up there.
Yeah, I think we've got, for sure, 3 things that are coming.
Mm-hmm.
Soon to be 4, depending on how quickly we move. So.
Yes.
God, I probably should knock those 3 out before we get another one to add to our never-ending roster of things we need to make.
Our backlog is growing. Also, let us know if there's some episode, because we're still filling out our docket for season 2.
Yes.
And so if there's something in particular you want to hear about, let us know, and we'll research it and chat about it.
Yeah. Excited to get into this season.
Yeah. So welcome back. And we'll see you in 2 weeks.
Hopefully you didn't get possessed while listening to this episode.
Yeah, let us know if anything weird happened.
If there are, almost every major city has an exorcist, so good luck.
Yeah, get on the list. It sounds like they're real busy.
Ooh, get your psychiatric appointments. Okay. So we just finished editing the last part of the Demons episode, and the audio just cut off in the middle of us saying something at our conclusion. So
yeah, Emily was we're basically wrapping up saying, goodbye, and it just cuts Emily off mid-sentence, but it's still recording, but it's blank.
Yeah, so we're pretty sure that a demon is just good God, stop talking, you horrible women.
Yeah, we've never had that happen to us before. We've never had a glitch with our technology like that. So, I don't know. Was it paranormal?
It was Sallie.
It was.
Sally's just fuck you.
So.
You called me a bitch so many times in this episode.
Yeah, I've had it. Enough.
So I guess we were just here to say another goodbye, because that one wasn't good enough for us.
We had to Midwest goodbye it. Yeah. There's been 3 goodbyes.
It was too abrupt.
It was too abrupt, and there wasn't a good way to cut it. So, anyways.
We're just here to say goodbye and give you a nice hug.
Yes. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah, on Remnants.